Knock, knock. And good evening, everyone. I am your host, Purity Speaks. It's been a while since I was supposed to do this podcast, but I am back now. We're about to get back on track. So, everybody, relax, enjoy, and let's get into it. So, today, I want to talk about overthinking. I had to understand a few things in life, like, is really life as bad as it seems? In reality, we tend to doubt ourselves, be in fear, and we be so anxious about the unknown. I would really speak for myself that as much times I would believe I'm in the present moment, I wasn't always fully in the present moment. Have you ever wondered that with yourself where it's like, you know where you are in your life, but then it's like when you actually sit down with yourself, it's not really as bad as it may seem. Some of us grew up in toxic situations to where we already get so immune to it, you know, like our comfort zone in a sense. We already so used to being abused, being bullied, being taken advantage of, being looked over, but like us to improve how we love ourselves and to really follow our own, our own path, like we can't tend to always compare ourselves. I feel we shouldn't compare ourselves at all with other people because we never know what people went through. Just as we overthink that our situation is so bad to where we feel like all hope is lost, there's somebody out there in worse situations, and it really have you to really think, you know what? I overthought this situation. It wasn't as bad as I try to make it seem. Life turns around so much. But I really feel like, again, when we are so used to negativity, toxicity, confusion, it's just seems as though when we receive the things we actually deserve, we get scared and we question it because we just so used to having certain people in our lives be around certain predicaments and certain things that has been instilled in us, and people just show who they are, or in other words, we just so used to people putting on a mask to have us think they are what they are when it's not that. So I feel like overthinking is another way of how we, you know, let our have our opportunities pass us by, because as moments as we think about everybody else, as much as we try to be perfect, as much we figure out why me, why me, why me, there's so many times that God would, it's so many times that, God would really show us why. Because if we keep knowing everything, who knows, we're going to end up sabotaging it by bringing in the people and things that God been already trying to remove out our lives. A lot of people are lessons, a lot of things are lessons, a lot of environments are lessons. And it's like, I'll speak for myself. I would be so hard on myself because everything I know I've said in my life, everything I know I've done in my life and what I've been through, I used to overthink to where I should accept anything. I haven't really been taught to take accountability. I had to really learn myself. And, just judging everybody else is like saying, oh, well, it's this and that. But in reality, it was in me because I've been instilled to not express my emotions. So then as much as I overthink and be like, hey, am I supposed to be emotional? Am I supposed to be logical in this situation? And at the same time, it just be like, that's me overthinking. And sometimes we already know the answer, But we still second guess ourselves. I even say that for myself. There's plenty of things that God made sure me and my kid have. And I would sit over here and be like, man, I'm ready to get out this situation. Yeah, like I'm grateful for this. But then I backtrack what I say and be like, man, God help me with this. But it's like I was in my head so much about not having certain things right then and there. God was already showing me, hey, it's going to be okay. You're allowing the worldly outside things to put in your head that you have to be on a certain pace. You got to be on a certain time, but it's not always like that. Truth be told is this. I live in a hotel. Have I been embarrassed about it? Yes. Have I had moments where I felt like I had no choice but to rush my process? Yes. Have I been insecure along the way? Yes. Have I dealt with a lot of other things? Yes. I dealt with getting kicked out of a shelter, asking and begging, like, seeing if somebody can pay for the hotel because I wasn't able to work. Doing to one child doing full days and my other child only do half a days. And then hit the point where both of them do half a days. I can't really work. What job would accept a female that's only available for 4 hours? It's hard. And all the time when I be like, man, I want things to go my way. I've been approved for an apartment before, but they never reach back out to me. It's like, man, what? But it's like when I got out of my own head at times, it's like God shows signs that certain things are not for us. And the things that we want it to be is not how it's going to turn out. Sometimes the outcome is not really that outcome, you know? And I just feel like overthinking really plays a big part of where we go in our lives. It really does. I honestly just feel like, speaking for myself, I allow my own overthinking to have me to second guess about my self-care, well, with my healing. My overthinking had me to feel like nothing was going to work out because it didn't work out before. I started to have trust issues. I started to doubt. I started to have fear. I will overthink if I'm pretty or not. I will overthink, should I budget this way or should I spend it on this? Should I save it for this? And just being like, oh, is this person supposed to be in my circle? Is that person supposed to be in my circle? Am I supposed to ask this person for help? Is this the path I'm supposed to be on? I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I was crying the other night, just had that thought in my head, like, am I even on the right path? But I know certain ways that I was before wasn't taking me anywhere. But again, I was overthinking because along the way, God never showed me that me and my kids had to struggle. God always made a way for me and my kids. A female with no license, no car. I never rented a home in my own name before. Yes, government assistance. Yes, I go to thrift stores. Yes, I go to clothing vendors. Yes, a lot of things that I had to do. But I would overthink the simple fact of, man, like, I'm appreciative for these, and the other part of me just be feeling like, but I don't want to keep living like this. But that's because my overthinking came in as if I was starting to feel like a burden to people. And I just feel like I had that thought instilled in me, like, I'm supposed to be independent. I was so focused on making sure I'm good to really say that I'm good, if that makes sense. Like, when things are not going as planned at that moment, yes, I started getting impatient. Yes, I started to question, like, what am I supposed to learn out of this? Okay, even though I'm learning patience, where's the help? Where's the help? But then it may not come when we want them, but it comes on time. Sometimes, like most of the time, God will send signs of protection. And I would overthink about my emotions, like, God, is this how I feel? Or am I just taking on in what's not mine? And then the more when I cried it out, I realized I was in my head for so long because a lot of things was out of my control. It was out of my hands. And honestly, you guys, I was holding on to so much anger, stuff that I thought that I had let go. But it comes around to show like I was not really healing. I was rushing the process. So a lot of things be easier said than done. Like a lot of times we be saying, speak power, speak life over our life. And at moments when you go through things, it just be like, I'll do that every day. And it feels like certain things not coming the way I want them to, but failing to realize with me being in my own head, if I wasn't in my own head overthinking stuff, I would see that nothing was wrong. Certain things were meant to happen and certain things wasn't meant to happen. I would feel at times I'm not a good mother because it's like I'd be like, man, I don't have a car, I don't have a license, and like I'm depending on people, depending, leaving out of a toxic relationship. And there's a lot of other stuff that been transpiring in my life to where it's like I just wanted to be so independent so bad that I just hit the point I was giving too much more than receiving. Because moments when people offer me things, I say, no, I got it. You know that song where in Encanto, Isabel's older sister, the strong one, in her song, she was explaining how with her being the oldest out of the sisters, she feels like she's the one carrying everybody's weight. She's holding everybody's burdens. And then she been in her mind feeling like she wasn't strong no more. Now she's weak, but cause she always been instilled in her that she always got to be strong. She got to be the warrior. She got to be the caretaker. And she was taught to where it's like when people ask, always give. Or it hit the point where you already done seen how certain people use other people. So you say, you know what? No, I understand what that's like. Or you know what? I'll be considerate. You never done me no wrong. So guess what? Okay, it is what it is. Like it's like even when you overthink, you see how much you have. You just so considerate. Just try to be fair. Just try to keep everything even. Be like, if I do this, I could prevent this, but then if I don't do that, how would I know? Like we already premeditate what's going to happen, how things going to happen. I'm not going to lie, that's been me. That has been me a few times. I didn't really knew myself the way I thought I would know myself. It just turns out like that sometimes. It really does. It just turn out like that. We don't want it to be like that, but it just be one of them things where it's like everybody's growing in their own way. And we shouldn't judge anybody. And I feel like that's what a lot of people would do. The main ones who do be in their head most of the times, people would judge. And I feel like that's something that causes a lot of problems too. Just being judged and again, not knowing yourself. And that's something I'm still continuing to learn myself, know myself. For example, if somebody asks me what's my favorite hobbies, I gotta keep thinking about it. I didn't know myself. Oh, what do I like to do? Basic stuff, but then I'm over here visualizing doing more things. And it's like, I really need to put myself out there, get out my head. Okay, even if this ride will cost $20 there, $20 back, guess what? I gotta just take that chance. I need to explore. My children need to explore. So it's really one of them things where gotta really take that step. Gotta definitely take that step. Within this new year, I don't want to be the same person. I don't want to think the same way. And guess what? I will transform into the woman God wants me to be. And it goes for anybody out there who listen to my podcast. Like, this is the year where we just gonna have to suck everything up. Literally, everything started to be out the window last year, up and out of there, and really live. Because then, guess what? When a lot of us receive our blessings and we keep overthinking, we'll end up getting a blessing, and the whole time it's gonna make it seem like the God that we ungrateful. He take it away. You be like, God, why this? Why that? Because you didn't even acknowledge it when it was right there. You too busy in your head about, oh, did I deserve this? Isn't that okay? Well, I'm gonna take it away from you until you show me that you are ready for this. And that definitely, when I was thinking about that, it was definitely meant for me. I always been in my head like, okay, well, how am I supposed to know that's not gonna work if I didn't even try to see? And guess what? Guess what? At that moment, if I would have worked on something at that moment, I would see that an opportunity could be right there in front of my face. And I'm too busy in my head about it, making an excuse about certain things. So this is the time, all the times that I know I've been in my head, I know this is the time for me to really face everything. Stop being in denial about my emotions. Start using my discernment, follow my intuition. You know, just being me, because I have a friendly ass fucking personality, and it's starting to scare me. It's like, it's now literally how people say a gift and a curse. Oh my God. It's like, but I'm using mine in the, of course, in the right way. Like, when I actually get out my head, I would say, you know what, I'm meant to do this. But the more when something don't go my way, or I'd be like, oh, I doubt this gonna work, I'm speaking doubt over my life. And I'm missing out on something all because I was scared, or I'm too busy worrying about how will other people approve of it. Which is okay to think about. It's okay. No wrongs about it. But overthinking can really block us a lot. And I will say, for me, how they say block your blessings, how they say you can block your own blessing, that's me just beating my head. That's me blocking my blessings. Like, I'm too busy trying to say, well, this is not good enough. That's not good enough, to where it was nothing wrong the whole time. I just went based upon what somebody else say, or I be watching TV, or I let certain people that talk down to me get to me 10 as I say that. So I'm beginning to know who I am. I'm starting to trust myself. I'm starting to love myself. I'm starting to appreciate my kids, doing better with my kids, learning independence, getting clarity, wisdom, and knowledge. Then when I'm in my head, guess what? I'm too busy worrying about other people's lives. Like, man. And then some of the people that we used to look up to, come to find out they be having their own issues. And we be like, oh, goals. I want to be this person. I want to be that person. And we don't know what these people go through behind closed doors. We don't know what is an image until we actually snap out of it, snap out of that illusion of this is how we want it. When we get out our head, we see that everything is not peaches and cream. Not everything out here fucking butterflies and damn the sun. Sunflowers and roses and daisies and lily pads and all that other stuff. It's not that all the time. It's not always gonna be rainbows. It's not always gonna be a nice clean lake water. There's gonna be times there's gonna be storms. There's gonna be times where, you know, there's gonna be times where you feel down and you feel miserable, depressed, but the more we in our head about it, we gonna end up being stuck in that situation because we want everything to be great. Like for me, when I first started my spiritual journey in 2022, I was thinking, okay, as soon as I start this journey, everything will be fine, everything will work out. Until no, I had to learn this by myself. Really, I at first when I was getting into it, I never knew shit about spiritual attacks. I didn't know nothing about that. Like them spiritual attacks would be real, and then when you think about a lot of things that don't make sense later, yeah, like what? Like it's crazy. It's really crazy. And even thinking about my own life, there's so many times about like, you know what? I was thinking too hard about a situation, and it wasn't even that damn serious. I was in my head about it. Somebody offend me, but it'd be like, why did I let that person get to me when they be saying that shit? It's starting to get old. That's like when you in your head. And that was definitely me being in my head. For sure. Like I'll be like, if I do this, it would affect this. But then when I actually did it was like it wasn't affecting the damn thing. It was just it was like God was already saying, you know, it's that, right? Is that hello, hello? What do you complain about? Hey, hey, look, and then it'd be like by the time we look, is it again? God would already take it away, where it'd be that moment when He about to take it away, and then that's when you actually snap out and be like, oh shoot, I was complaining for no reason, and that's the whole thing of us protecting our peace. Like clear our head, like listen to a lot of high frequency music. And even you realize too, like we do have to be careful what we listen to, because if we actually listen to the words, we're claiming things the other people probably rapping some shit they don't even be about for real. And they took their music from people back in the day, they just add beats to them. But because we be in our own head, we don't be in the present moment like, okay, what is this being said? What is that being said? You know? So within this new year, it's best to just focus. We really need to tune in and tap in. Like, I would overthink that I would have anything. I had this thought that I'd be like, what if people write? I will be dependent on them. What if they write I'm not doing good enough? But that's me in my head. Until I actually start doing certain things again, allow God to correct me. It's like not everything people say was true. Like for example, you can get bullied and that person can say, your shirt is dirty. But in reality, they know that's the style of the shirt. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like people like that want us in our head, so we don't know who we are. So we don't have that mind of really knowing the truth. And when we overthink, we confuse our own damn selves. Because again, that be me too, being impatient. Is like I pray about certain things and I be like, no, I want a quick answer. I want to answer now. I want a quick. But not everything's going to come how we want them to come. So I do want to say this, ending off. It's okay to receive, because I'm working on that myself, and it's okay to want peace. A lot of things is out of our control, and if we really trust God, we gotta really let go as well. That's like just saying I'm grateful, getting out of my head, feeling like getting out of my head about not having enough, when in reality I have more than enough. I have exactly everything I need. It's okay to cry. There's time I didn't even want it to cry because I was like, I used to cry so much it didn't matter, and I was still putting myself through stuff. I can't say, oh, this and how people want to blame God. And like, no, I put my own self through situations to where I got in my own head like, if I didn't do that, I should have did this. What if I did? It's like, just like when you in situations like that, just breathe. It's easier said than done, but just breathe and really ask yourself. Because I even had to pray about this recently. Like, do I really forgive myself as Christ forgave me and as I've been so quick to forgive others? Have I really forgave myself? Have I, instead of me putting blame game on other people, have I done things toward people intentionally or unintentionally for certain things to have certain reaction? Even playing the victim mentality is when you're in your head as well. Just overthinking. Like, no, this person did this. Trust, I've been like that too. Blaming others when in reality it was my own trauma. It was my own hurt. It was on my own mind, my own, based upon trying to be the opposite of people who already was teaching me certain things versus where it was just me just trying to prove a point or trying to say that I'm right. That's why I was saying earlier, you guys, it's okay to be wrong sometimes. It's okay. Because when you be in your head about it, you be like, am I wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? Like, it's like, no, it's like if God put in your spirit what he put there, he put it there for a reason. Even in overthinking, we want to overthink so much and not realizing that God is transforming us from our own habits, not just from others. We put our own self in a mental prison. It's true. But within this year, 2026, I pray that we all would take that leap of faith and strength to really be in the present because we don't know how long we have on this earth. So it's best to appreciate it while we can. We on borrowed time. I'm not perfect myself, but if it means for me to help others, share my experiences, because of course I don't want to ever lead anybody astray. I've been through so much things and I'm not in no room to judge anybody. I know it's my purpose to help people. And whoever this podcast leads to, that means we connected and we'll, you're my twin. But I love y'all. If there's nobody that told you that, I love y'all. It's okay. You're gonna make it through because if God made ways for me and my kids to get through, I know he'll do the same for y'all. So, and I'm not just saying that just to say that. So don't feed into the enemy of overthinking and causing, again, your own blessings to be blocked. So, I am your host, Purity. I hope everything I said really touched your heart. And again, I ask and I pray to God that this reach the right people. So, until then, thank you for listening to my cast. Good night, and I love y'all.